It happened quietly. Not in the middle of a red carpet or a press conference, but in a dimly lit interview studio where the world least expected it. Sam Heughan, calm and thoughtful as ever, sat across from a journalist during the promotion of Outlander's upcoming season. The tone was light at first. Questions about the show, about Macbeth, about his future projects. And then came the one question that changed everything. "Sam," the interviewer asked carefully, "you and Caitriona have been such an iconic duo for almost a decade. Fans still wonder, is there anything more between you two? Or could there ever be?" For a moment, Sam didn't speak. He leaned back in his chair, took a breath, and smiled, not his usual playful grin, but something softer, almost bittersweet. Then he said it. "We've shared an incredible journey, but some things belong to the past. It's over, forever." The interviewer froze. The camera operator glanced up, unsure if he'd heard correctly. Even Sam himself seemed to feel the weight of those words hanging in the air. In the next few seconds, the internet's favorite fantasy shattered into silence. Within hours, clips of the interview flooded social media. "It's over forever." The quote spread like wildfire. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, fan pages, tabloids. The headlines were merciless. "Sam Heughan ends all speculation. Confirms it's over with Caitríona Balfe." Outlander fans heartbroken after Sam's final statement. The fandom that had spent years celebrating their undeniable chemistry, on and off screen, suddenly fell into mourning. Hashtags like #It'sOverForever, #Sam and Caitriona, and #Goodbye Jamie and Claire began trending within hours. For nearly 10 years, Sam and Caitriona had been more than co-stars. To fans, they were a symbol of connection, of on-screen magic that felt too real to be just acting. Their laughter during interviews, the way they finished each other's sentences, the soft glances on red carpets, it all looked like something deeper, something unspoken. But now, with a single sentence, Sam had drawn the curtain. Some fans refused to believe it. "He's joking," they tweeted. "He can't mean it." Others felt heartbreak settle in. "It feels like losing Jamie and Claire all over again." By nightfall, thousands of messages poured into Sam's social media. Some were filled with sadness, others with gratitude. One fan wrote, "Thank you for giving us something to believe in, even if it was just for a while." Another said, "If it's really over, then thank you for the magic you shared." But it wasn't just the fans who reacted. The entertainment world erupted too. Outlets from Entertainment Tonight to The Scotsman analyzed every frame of the interview, every pause, every flicker of emotion. Was he hurt? Was he at peace? Had something happened behind the scenes? One columnist described it perfectly. "He didn't sound angry. He didn't sound bitter. He sounded like a man finally closing a chapter that had defined his life." Meanwhile, Caitríona Balfe stayed silent. No interviews, no statements, no explanations. Her silence, to many, spoke louder than any words could. But late that night, a single tweet appeared on her official account. Just 10 words, no tags, no emojis. "Some stories are meant to stay in the past." The fandom gasped. It was the response that confirmed everything. By morning, Variety and People magazine were reporting on the end of an era. One article wrote, "Heughan and Balfe didn't just play lovers, they became symbols of devotion and creative partnership." But as with all great stories, theirs too seems to have reached its final chapter. For many, the words, "It's over forever," weren't just about a relationship, real or imagined, but about the passage of time. Outlander had been part of their lives for almost a decade. Watching Jamie and Claire's love story unfold had made millions believe in fate, passion, and loyalty. Now, as Sam's words echoed through the fandom, it felt like that magic had finally dimmed. Still, beneath the heartbreak, there was a quiet dignity in the way he spoke. His tone hadn't been cruel or dismissive, it had been reflective. Peaceful, even, as if he wasn't ending something, but honoring it. "We've shared something beautiful," he added later in the interview. "I'll always be grateful for that." But every story has its end, and that's okay. It was a statement of closure, not resentment. And for those who had followed them from the beginning, it marked the end of a dream. Not in anger, but in understanding. As the interviewer thanked him and the crew began packing up, Sam stayed seated for a moment, looking down at his hands. A small, wistful smile crossed his face. Then he stood, adjusted his jacket, and walked out quietly, leaving behind a sentence that would echo through the Outlander fandom for years to come. It's over. Forever. The world heard it as an ending. But for Sam, perhaps, it was finally peace. The morning after Sam Heughan's words went viral, the world seemed to pause. Every fan page, entertainment site, and YouTube channel dedicated to Outlander replayed the same 10 seconds on loop. That calm voice, that quiet pause, and the sentence that felt like the closing of a book. It's over. Forever. Those words had felt final. But as the days passed, people began to wonder what they truly meant. Was it a goodbye to Caitríona Balfe? Or to something much bigger? In a follow-up interview released 2 days later, Sam offered a glimpse of his heart. Sitting in a softly lit room, wearing a simple gray sweater and no trace of the stage glamour he was known for, he spoke carefully, almost introspectively. People always wanted to believe there was something between us, he said quietly. And in a way, there was, but not what they think. Caitriona and I have shared something unique, something I'll always cherish. But life moves forward. And so must we. The words weren't defensive, they were gentle, mature, the kind of truth that carries both love and distance. He continued, when you spend nearly 10 years working side by side, you build more than chemistry. You build trust, understanding. We grew up together, really, through this show, through success, through everything. But sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is let go of what people expect you to be. That line, the most loving thing you can do is let go, struck fans deeply. Within hours, it was trending across X and Instagram. One fan wrote, "He didn't break hearts, he freed them." Another added, "It's not an ending. It's respect." Caitriona still hadn't given a formal interview, but her actions spoke softly. She liked a fan post that quoted Sam's words and captioned it, "Real connection never ends, it just changes form." That single click, one small heart, was enough to set the fandom ablaze again. Entertainment outlets interpreted it as her silent agreement, her acknowledgement that whatever chapter had just closed, it had done so with grace. Behind the scenes, insiders close to both stars told the Scotsman. They've always had a bond beyond the screen. But Sam's ready to live life outside of the Jamie Fraser shadow. This was his way of closing the door, not out of pain, but peace. Peace. That word echoed through every article that followed. Because when fans rewatched the full interview, they realized something they had missed the first time. There was no bitterness in his tone. There was gratitude. He smiled when speaking of Caitriona, calling her one of the most talented and generous people I've ever worked with. He even chuckled softly as he remembered their early Outlander days, long hours on set, inside jokes, the shared nerves before big premieres. "We've been through so much together," he said. "But our paths are different now. And that's okay. It doesn't change what she means to me." For the first time, it was clear. This wasn't about an argument or a falling out. It was about time, growth, and the natural distance that life brings. Caitriona's own brief appearance on a podcast days later confirmed that tone. When asked about Sam's comments, she smiled tenderly. "We've both given a lot of ourselves to these characters," she said. "Jamie and Claire will always be special, but so are Sam and Caitriona. Just in a different way now." Her words were calm, measured, almost poetic. And in that moment, fans felt the closure, not of love, but of longing. One popular fan edit that week combined their old interviews, laughter, and on-set hugs with Sam's recent quote. "Every story has its end, and that's okay." The final frame faded to black with the caption, "Some endings are just new beginnings told in silence." By the end of the week, What started as heartbreak turned into appreciation. Comment sections filled with messages like, "This isn't sad anymore. It's beautiful. They gave us a decade of magic. That's forever enough." In his final public comment on the topic, Sam posted a photo on Instagram. A quiet shot of the Scottish Highlands at sunset. His caption read simply, "Gratitude, always. No hashtags, no mentions, no fanfare, just stillness." The comments poured in again, thousands of fans thanking him for the honesty, for the memories, for the way he turned pain into poetry. Because what Sam had done was rare. In an industry built on illusion and gossip, he had chosen truth, not scandal. Respect, not reaction. As one entertainment journalist beautifully wrote in Vanity Fair, Sam Heughan didn't end a story. He honored it, and in doing so, he reminded us that not all forevers end with a kiss, some end with understanding. And so, the storm settled. No bitterness, no drama. Just two people who had given the world a love story that transcended the screen, and then knew when to let it rest. For fans, it was painful to hear, "It's over forever." But as time passed, they realized maybe it wasn't a goodbye. Just a new chapter where Sam and Caitriona could finally live, not as Jamie and Claire, but as themselves.